All right, so we are moving on to session two for lesson 26. And for this one, we're just going to be demonstrating that sometimes with conversions, it's usually only part of a problem. Um, and you have to either multiply, divide, add, or subtract to find your final answer. So we're focusing on multi-steps and showing how we can break down the work into different parts. And also, I want to focus on the fact that quite often with multi-step word problems, there's two or more ways to solve it. And I'm going to show you that with our warm-up for today. So our warm-up again involves food. So we've got a bakery that buys 5 boxes of apples with 12 apples in each box. They use 4 apples for each pie. So how many pies can they make if they use all of these apples? So let me break it down into two different ways. So um, be like method one will be over here on the left. Let's do that in red. And this is the way I would picture it. I would want to know how many total apples there are to start. So I would basically know that there were 5 boxes, and in each box there were 12 apples. So I would be multiplying. And 5 times 12, I know is 60. So there's step one of this multi-step problem. I also know that I'm going to need 4 apples for each pie. So I need to divide these 60 apples into equal groups of 4. So 4 goes into 60 once. Down my 0. 5, give me 20. And I know I can make 15 pies from this assortment. Another way you can look at it is let's look at each box. So you know that in each one of these boxes, there's 12 apples. We know that we need to take 4 of those apples to make our pie. So each box we know we can make 3 pies from each of those. And if we can make 3 pies per box and we have 5 boxes, I know we can make 15 pies this way. So again, two completely different ways, different orders of doing it, same results. Okay, so let's look at page 535. And Casey's making an exercise plan. She plans to walk a trail near her home 20 times each month. It takes 40 minutes to walk the trail. So if Casey keeps the same pace, how many hours will she spend walking the trail each month? And they give us a conversion here to remind us that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So here is my first technique to do it. And it's very similar to like the warm up or the first method. Um, so I've got every trip takes 40 minutes. And if she's going to do 20 of these a month, I'm going to find out the total number of minutes I have here. And this will give me 800 total minutes. But the question is asking how many hours. So if I have minutes, I've got to convert the minutes to hours. And here's a simple way to do that. You can take your minutes, and there's a reason they gave us this number here, the 60 minutes. So 60 goes into 80 once, and bring down our 0. And 60 goes into 200 3 times, and I have a remainder of 20. So this is going to give me 13 hours, and then 20 out of 60 minutes. And that answer is correct. That's fraction right here is accurate, but we can kind of reduce that to 13 and 1/3 hours, but 13 and 20/60 hours, because we're talking about 20 minutes out of the 60 minutes of that hour. So she's at least doing it for 13 hours. Let's look at the next page. Just going to go over these examples real quick. You can use a picture to understand the relationship between hours and minutes. We know 1 hour is 60 minutes. We've got we've got this fraction wheel here superimposed over this clock. Um, and this is basically 40 out of 60. If this whole thing is 40 out of 60, it's also you got 4 sections out of 6, and we can reduce that to 2/3. So that's another way that this is 2/3 of an hour is represented like that. Again, you can use fractions of a time if you talk in terms of parts of an hour. So that's what we did in the example. That's what we did here. Underneath that, you can write the equation to find the number of minutes Casey will walk the trail in 1 month. We did that with our example, and that's where we got our 800 minutes from. Again, just breaking down some of the parts here. All right, number 1, why do you need to convert units of time in order to solve the problem? Because it gives us minutes and we need hours. So we need to convert from minutes to hours. You can convert minutes to hours before you multiply. What part of an hour is 40 minutes? So parts of a whole is a fraction. 40 minutes out of the 60 minutes for an hour is our fraction. And minutes are part of an hour. Again, fractions are parts of a whole, and that's what's going on in this case right here. Number 3, show how to find the number of hours Casey will walk the trail using your answer to problem 2. Okay, so what you would do with this, in fact, what I would do here, 40, 60 equals 4, 6, which equals 2/3. Okay, so if we know 40 minutes is 2/3, and she's going to do this 20 times, we can just multiply these because this can be 2 times 20 over 3. So this is 40 over 3. And we can change 40 over 3 into 13 1/3. So we've got our improper or a mixed number. Look at model it. What operation you use to convert 800 minutes to hours? Well, we use division. Simple enough. And explain and solve the problem. So this is where we, 800 divided by 60 equals 13 1/3. We've already solved that, or just restating it. How are the solution methods from picture and model alike and different? They're the same in that they convert minutes to hours. So let's talk about what's different. The difference is when we convert minutes to hours. All right, so let's try some examples on the back here. And then finish this up. We skip the reflection as always. All right, Elijah's dog needs 8 ounces of food per day. Elijah buys dog food by the pound, which is why we have an ounces and pound conversion. So I would have jotted that down right away. And again, this is a customary conversion, not metric. Customary is when you actually have certain numbers. How many pounds of food does Elijah need to buy to feed his dog for 2 weeks? And it reminds you that there's 7 days in a week. So if every day, so there's 14 days in 2 weeks, and his dog is eating 8 ounces per day, this should give us the total ounces, which would be 112 ounces. And the problem is they're asking us for the answer in pounds. So we have to take this 112 and divide it by 16. And this isn't a nice fluffy one to divide. You've actually got to do it like this 7 times. You got to try guess and check. Guess and check. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4 is 112. Whoops. So that leaves him with 7 pounds of dog food. That's a lot of dog food. Must be a big dog. Number 8. I took kind of an alternative route with this one in the book. Mr. Rubens has 4.5 quarts of watercolor paint. His class is making a mural. Each of the 20 students in class will get 1 cup of paint. Does he have enough paint for all of his students? I'm not going to bother with this 4.5. I just want to know how much he would have if he had unlimited amount of paint. If you have 20 students, and each kid gets a cup, which actually, or each kid gets 1 cup. What you can do is divide by 4 because each cup is 1/4, and he would get he would need 5 quarts to get that. So he would need 5 total quarts to have enough for all the 20 students. He doesn't because he's half a quart short. So that won't work for him. And last one, a lemur in a zoo has a mass of 3 kilograms, 630 grams. So this is a total. So notice they mixed in kilograms and grams. Zookeeper records the lemur's mass in grams. What will the zookeeper write for the mass of the lemur? Well, we have a conversion here of 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So 3 kilograms times 1,000 equals 3,000 grams. And we can't forget the 630. So 3,000 plus 630 equals 3,630 grams. And that is your lesson on multi-step conversions for today. The iExcel is not involving multi-step. We'll do that tomorrow. But for today, I thought you'd use some more practice with comparing and converting metric units. So try your hand at that and let me know if you need any help.